What's up everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to take a look at Lake Okahumpka with two guys that contacted me, wanted to show me around the lake. I am going to caveat the video. I'm going to do snippets of them talking and voice over the rest because it was really windy out there. It was cold today, and a lot of their audio was just the wind whipping into the microphone. So with that being said, I do want to point out that Jordan Love is not ready for the NFL yet, unfortunately. That's disappointing to me. The Packers lost, so they're 7-2, but man, their defense. So anyways, let's take a look at the Lake Okahumpka. We're going to take a tour, tell you about the vegetation and things like that. And also you'll get a peek at the Lake Okahumpka Rec Center from the backside. Alright, let's take a look. So we're out with Peter and John.
Yep.
Where are you guys from?
I grew up in Tampa, Florida. That's my third generation Floridian. And I've been living here my whole life and coming up to this lake to hunt and fish my whole life as well.
I grew up in Jupiter, Florida, but now I live over in St. Petersburg.
St. Petersburg is...
It's across the bay from Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa and St. Peter are like, what, 2 hours? Well, Tampa is about an hour, yeah.
With traffic, it's going to take you a little over an hour to get there, but they're pretty close. They're like sister cities, basically.
St. Pete going over the bridge.
What's it take to get here? An hour and a half from
your
place?
Yeah, from here, from Tampa
like
to
2
my
hours
house
from me.
to this lake is about an hour away.
Yeah.
So.
So you come up here and duck hunt every year, right?
Yeah, I mean, This is like, we're big duck hunters. That's our favorite thing to do. But I grew up hunting on this lake. I think I shot my first duck on this lake when I was a young child. But people have been hunting on Lake Okahumpka for decades, longer than I've been alive for sure. Back in the day when I grew up here, I mean, this was a very rural area. Nothing but cow pastures were around here. Obviously now the village is growing a bit.
So Peter and John come to Lake Okahumpka every year during duck season, which runs from November into the month of January. It's 2 months or 60 days, and they duck hunt on the lake. Lake Okahumpka is really busy during this time for duck hunting season, especially on the weekend. They mentioned several times it sounds like World War III out there because of all the shooting going on with the season happening and things like that. And then they were really interested in the lake's ecosystem. So John is a biology teacher, and both of them are very into conservation, obviously, and keeping the ducks on the lake. Looking forward to that for years to come with their families and their kids. Peter is a third generation Floridian. He came out to the lake when he was a kid and hunted with his father, and he hopes to do that with his kids. They gave me several pointers on the hydrilla.
This plant right here, I mean, it's just chock full of it. It's called hydrilla. You can see the mats out here. If you were to kayak out here, you'd probably struggle, to be honest. It would take you a very long time to paddle through all this vegetation.
And then effectively explained to me that they've been in touch with Florida Wildlife and had many conversations with them about the lake and the lake's health and what the Villages is going to bring to the lake. So currently the Villages has a small area of the lake. The lake is public, but the Villages owns a small portion of the lake, or behind the Okahumpka Rec Center, where you're going to be able to kayak and do all those things, where they were able to clear out that hydrilla and the algae, things like that, all the vegetation, so that the area will be able to be accessible to paddle boards and kayaks with a little less intrusion from that. I would suggest against it during duck season, obviously. But I'm interested now to see how all that's going to play out
So it's all very regulated, but I think that's kind of important for people to know too, that everything's safe out here. No one's going to get, some people think, some people that don't know hunting, we're out here with rifles, shooting long-range rifles.
Yeah.
You use a shotgun to duck hunt, and the efficacy of that shot is probably 50 yards.
Shot, yeah, maybe 60 yards. And if you're, most people understand whether you're far enough or not, don't shoot at someone's house.
Right.
With the combination of duck season going on and with the rec center being there. St. John's will also be on the south side, along the south side of the lake, between Lake Okahumpka and the turnpike. So that housing area is going to hear the hunters during duck season. But you're also going to have access to that lake and the bass fishing, and they mentioned pan fishing and bass fishing, and there's alligators on the lake, many species of ducks and birds, and they do frog gigging and gator hunting on the lake. They said that the lake is not very populated with gators, or they've only seen a couple out there, but they do offer gator hunting and gigging, frog gigging, which I've never been. That would be interesting to do. Peter was also very open and offered to take anyone out on his boat to Lake Okahumpka. They're residents and from this area, so he is more than excited and happy to show the area off to anybody that may be willing to learn about it. And he mentioned to contact him on Facebook about that if you're interested. It takes a special type of boat and motor to go around on this lake because of all the vegetation that you drive through, which you can see actually as we're going through it. And I think some of the locals are a little nervous that the things they enjoy, like this lake and duck hunting, boating, will be taken over by the villages eventually, and they don't want that to happen. And not just the villages in general, but building and obviously economic development as people continue to flood to Florida and move to our beautiful state, which who can blame them? They continue to cut off and choke the wildlife out of certain areas. There are otters, freshwater otters out here as well. I do want to get out there during the summer and check those out. Hopefully I'll be able to see them. And overall, it was a very good tour. I had to get up super early to get out here and brave the cold, but I was more than happy to do it. And Peter and John were fantastic. I would recommend, if you do want to learn more or you do want to get out on the lake and you want to take Peter up on his offer, reach out and contact him on Facebook. It's Peter Arcuri, and or you can send me a message and I'd be happy to link you guys up.